feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
The Bodyguards. The guys who are even now saying, yo, let me speak up. Oh, I'm on an interview tour. And I'm not speaking about anyone directly. But, if you guys are now going around and profiting because they're getting paid for these interviews, trust and believe, they're not doing these interviews for free. They're getting paid for these interviews. And yes, we are glad that they're sharing information and speaking the truth now. But it kind of goes to, well, why didn't you step in initially? Why didn't you alert the authorities? Why didn't you do something when you could, rather than wait 20 years to then tell the story of what you saw? That also becomes problematic. But this one guy's been kind of interesting to me. His name is Roger Bond, right? Roger Bond. Let's go to YouTube. Because he was teasing at a point. He was like, yo, I might know. No, he was just like, he basically was teasing with a bunch of like posts. Let's look it up. Roger Bond, cryptic, like he was making really cryptic posts about the Cassie thing. This is what he said. This is not meant to be threats or snitching or anything like that. That's another thing already. If you thought speaking about or speaking up against domestic violence was snitching, that's a problem, right? It says, like that against Cassie or Diddy, this is me telling my truth. And I remember it for two reasons only. First, I have 4 daughters. So all the dudes, my truth as I see it. So on all dudes, what? Okay, anyway. Now, keep in mind, he teased cryptic messages literally for weeks before then coming out and saying, it wasn't like they fought like any other couple. I think he was on the Danza Project, right? Was he on the Danza Project? Danza Project, Roger Bonds. And he basically said, nah, they just fought. Like, he downplayed it. Like, oh, no, I didn't really, you know what I mean? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, he spoke about it here. He basically said, Cassie's just as wrong as Diddy. Keep in mind, he was being mad cryptic all along. Look.
It was okay to say, yo, we're going to be in Miami this weekend. Because before that, we couldn't say what we was doing and where we was going. So I just want to point out that social media is new to me. But it also gets you results.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's why you're here today on the Dancer Project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't be nowhere else.
Shout out to the Dancer Project.
So that's when I came out. Because, like I said, I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? So when you mention my name in a lawsuit, which I don't know, we're going to speak to a lawyer because I don't know if she used that as leverage to get the money she got, but I feel like she should have hollered at me and said, yo.
That is the problem, chat, with this whole thing. Everybody's morality is based on some money. Think about it, chat. The first thing he says is not that, oh, I'm mentioning the lawsuit and she got supposedly paid. He says, maybe she should have hollered at me because she probably used my name to go get the bread. What does that say, chat? It goes to why Diddy was probably able to do this and no evidence came out. And again, I'm not doing a defense of where I say, well, these guys are guilty too. But I kind of look at this whole situation as the reason why it was allowed to happen for this long is shitty humans who were able to turn the other cheek or turn the other way or turn the other eye, or turn their head the other way just for some money. Right?
It's my name in the lawsuit. So that's when I came out because, like I said, I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? So when you mention my name.
Now, again, and I know you'll probably see this. I'm not trying to get at you, my brother. This is not what this is. But I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in what you said. You said you came out because you have daughters. And that makes sense. Like if you feel like this guy has been evil to woman or whatever, and you felt you needed to speak up, even though you could have spoke up decades ago, cool. But then you switch it from you have daughters to, wait, I wonder if she leveraged me to get the bread.
In a lawsuit, which I don't know, we're going to speak to a lawyer because I don't know if she used that as leverage to get the money she got, but I feel like she should have hollered at me and said, yo,
The victim should have called up Roger Bond and said, hey, Diddy's about to give me $30 million. You want some? Instead of saying, hey, I'm speaking up for what's right. What's right is that for years, Diddy violated this woman. I tried to help by A, B, C, and D, but unfortunately, it was only so much I could do. That nigga is wrong. He's talking about the bread.
I'm getting ready to put your name in this, da-da-da-da-da. Same thing. She know what I'm going through with my son. So she could have said, yo, I'm getting ready to do such and such and such. If such and such come through, I got a couple of dollars for you for your son. So
This also goes back to my thing with Diddy. Again, we're not defending Diddy at all. I got to give these disclaimers before people clip me and try to take it out of context. But it kind of goes to the fact of, yo, Diddy, if you were doing all these wild things and you used to get away with it with money, you do know when you're a fucked up person, you do things continually fucked up. You essentially sign lifetime contract with the people who have to either bear the secrets for you for life or have to continually and be complicit in the fucker you're doing. So again, if you got the 30 mil to pay Cassie, you know, I was just watching this movie, which I've read the reviews. I heard it's horrible. It's this show on Netflix. It's called Fool Me Once. I don't know if y'all watched it. I don't know, fuck it up for y'all if I do watch it. And essentially, it was about this rich family. And this rich family, you know, who was kind of doing a lot of little shady shit, you know what I mean? They would put people on payroll for life, damn near. It was like, all right, cool, some shit happened back in the 80s. We know we gonna need you to shut the fuck up unless we kill you. Here's a little check, monthly, for the rest of your life. Like, they were looking at the books and like, damn, I've been paying this motherfucker for 20 years. Like, why? Yeah, this person might know a little something. So when I look at Diddy and I'm like, well, you got like a lot of disgruntled niggas who are saying they just needed some money. It's not even like they're really not saying, oh yeah, let's get Diddy. They're just saying, yo, bro, like my son's in a fucked up position. Like, shit ain't going for me, right, bro? Like, yo, you even had Keefy D at one point. It was like, yo, brother, love, show some love. Like, you know what I mean? You have a lot of people who say, bro, just share a little bit of the wealth. Like, yo, we allowed you to do all this fuck shit. Why not? Why didn't Diddy take them serious? Or did he get so pompous and arrogant to say, fuck y'all. I've used y'all, I could discard y'all, and I'm so high up, I've leveled up every time I discarded one of y'all motherfuckers who are disposable in my book, that once I discarded y'all can't come back around and come step on this empire? Get out of here. That was a grave mistake, correct?
I ain't taking sides when it comes to that situation because I look at her being just as wrong as him. But for all the people that say that I'm looking for clout off of it, my name got brought into it. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all was going through everything that y'all was going through, I never jumped out the window. I never said nothing. I had my beef with Puff individually. You know what I'm saying? For not standing on 10 toes with my son. That was my beef. It wasn't until later on where everything else came into play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. Some of those things I knew and some of them things I didn't know. So I don't think it's fair for people to say I knew everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Some of them I did know. Did I ever see him hit somebody? Yeah, I definitely did. Did I ever see him and Cassie fight? Yes, I definitely did. When she said that I came in between them fighting, did I do that? Yes, I definitely did. But I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't think it was a wrong thing because I never seen the things that she actually like the stomping out and the beating, and I've never seen stuff like that. I would jump into something after the first blow, like not on my watch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
is that possible, y'all think, chat? You know, so he's saying, I don't know, maybe he saw like a backhand at one slap or something like that, but he ain't see the chronic like beat downs and everything like of the sort. Do you think it's possible that Diddy, do you think it's possible you could be around someone who witnessed like certain type of aggression and be completely surprised that maybe if you, the security guard, who your job is there to kind of make sure no one puts hands on your clients, but make sure an altercation doesn't happen around him, if you, the security guard, witness that, you don't think maybe not in front of you, but maybe behind when you're not around? Like someone made a great point about the video, right? They said, if Diddy did this in public, what the fuck do you think he was doing in private? Like, it's like he did this at the fucking Intercontinental by the elevator with a robe on. Don't you think in his crib he probably issuing the A-Town stomp? You know what I mean? Like, yo, he doing the Block Boy JB move on these chicks. Like, you don't think he was going crazy? You don't think he was throwing a Kurt Schilling fastball at these chicks and Mariano Rivera? Like, what you think? Anyway.
Let's talk about Harvey Weinstein.
We're gonna get to that in a second. My bad.
to your point,
you actually can't even wrong him because now the way the lawsuit came out and it's so divisive, it's like the first question is, where's everybody who was complicit? So it's like, you got to pick a side. So you almost got to jump out the window and be like, hey, bro, I wasn't on it like that. You know what I'm saying? Just speak your truth, let you know what's going on because now you could possibly be implicated.
Because it's like a thing. It's like you first of all, you think about your job, right? You think about your job.
Hey, chat. With a lot of people who came out, which I wish all of these guys had sought an attorney before even choosing to do these interviews, and I know they were getting paid. Because I don't think they realized in a moment, but you know, it's aged so badly when y'all literally said, "Oh, I had to choose between my job," and I guess that is a dilemma, right? Like, yo, if I speak up, I'm gonna lose my source of income. But you tell me, where do you judge someone who sits back complicitly and says, "I'm gonna watch other humans get abused. I'm gonna watch people get taken advantage of. I'm gonna watch very violent, heinous things happen to people, and I'm just not gonna say nothing, or it's not my business." Mostly because I don't want to lose my job. Are those people pieces of shits, or are those people like, yo, they got to pay their bills? As long as they're not doing it or they're not helping it, bro, you can't blame them. What do you feel about those people?
And you say, this is my employer. You look at people when you see people that have spoken up for smaller things, and then they don't have a job. So people say, yo, but your job wasn't. How many people work at the sanitation and everything else that hate their job and things go wrong, but they never speak up because they afraid of how they're going to pay their bills the next month? So a lot of those things, I was in that situation, in that predicament. Yeah, if it was to get crazy, I wouldn't think about my job. Right. But then when you around certain people, you only going to do what you think that person would allow. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when she said, and I remember specifically what she's talking about when she said, it was after an event on Sunset and her and Puff got into it. My thing was more or less.
Okay, what was that? Sunset. Let's go to Roger Bond. In the car, this is 2009. In the car, Oh, okay. Yeah, wow. So Roger Bond is from like 2009. I don't know if he was around 2016. Okay. Wait, what? I keep playing this. Sorry.
Arguing and fighting in front of on Sunset Boulevard. What are y'all doing? Right. This is such and such. This is such and such. Yo, get the fuck in the car. You know what I'm saying? Because it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him put his hands on her, and I've seen her put his hands on him. And see, that's what people don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to just go crazy. And I'm not saying that neither one is right. But there's been times when...
How do you treat that information, chat? How do you treat, it looks like his disposition is, hey, they were both beating each other up. Now, I'm not going to play the full interview, but he says, yo, she's just as wrong. That was the title. She was just as wrong as Diddy. Now, he just recently did an interview with, I believe, Piers Morgan. Right? And his interview, let's see if we could get to, okay. Here we go. So this is a segment.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent towards women?
This came out 2 hours ago.
Around 4 or 5 times.
So now, I'm going to be honest with you. And this is, it seems like his memory is a little bit more clearer now. His memory of Diddy being violent after the video came out is a little clearer. You know what I mean? Like, he knows the amount of times. Look.
Was that all with Cassie, or was it Cassie and other women?
I seen him with Cassie, and I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
There have also been...
Again, I'm not trying to besmirch anybody's name. I felt like when this Bodyguard first came out, he was really like a leaf in the wind, almost trying to send a smoke signal to Diddy to say, Diddy, a lot of people want to hear from me. Cut me the fucking check, gang, and I won't do nothing. I'll shut the fuck up. I'll go on vacation like that driver in Tory Lane's case, right? He's waiting. I don't know if Diddy sent over a small stimulus package, but after a while he was like, you know what? I ain't really have much to tell. Cassie was guilty just as much as Diddy. You know what I mean? It's a clusterfuck, which is not what people wanted to hear. People wanted to hear how violent he was and how much of a monster he was. He didn't say that. The interview I just played, he's cutting it kind of even. The video came out now. He's lost all sense of cutting it even, and he remembers all the times Diddy was giving out the beats. Listen to this.
Allegations involving him and other men in terms of abuse.
It's been times that I would stand by the elevator or I would go downstairs and say, why is this guy rushing me out? And I would see different men. I've never seen what they did, but I've actually stood there while they knocked on the hotel room door. When you go through life just paying your way out, I really feel like he might be sorry now. He's sorry that he got caught. But
Okay.
Your reaction when you saw that video?
my reaction was,
This is a reaction to the viral video of him beating Cassie, okay?
he's up to the same games. You know, my reaction was he never mentioned Cassie's name in that apology. You know, so to me, he didn't humble himself enough. I think he said what people wanted to hear, not what he felt. That was just my opinion about it.
The actual level of violence has been very shocking to people. To watch any man do that to a woman, particularly a very high-profile man doing it in such brazen public manner in a public place like that, was even more shocking. That he had no compulsion about doing this where there may be cameras. But was that indicative of Diddy's general behavior towards women?
In my light, I would say yes. In my light, I would say yes. It didn't surprise me when I saw it because I've seen things to this nature before. I've gotten in between things of this nature.
Doesn't that contradict what we just played? He's like, I never seen the stompings before. I seen a little fight and I'll get in between it. Now he's saying, that's the beatdown? Like, yo, this beating looked like some shit. My nigga, this beatdown looked like some shit you'd only see on live leaks, my nigga. This shit is bad. He's saying, actually, now y'all jog my memory. Yeah, I've seen a couple of these beatdowns. Yeah. What?
Before. And this was back in 2012. So
this nigga know the exact date now. Yo, Chad, am I tripping? Look.
predicament. Yeah, if it was to get crazy,
look.
You look at people when you say, yo, but your job wasn't. How many people work at the sanitation and everything else? They hate their job and things go wrong, but they never speak up because they afraid of how they gonna pay their bills the next month. So a lot of those things, I was in that situation, in that predicament. Look, yeah, if it was to get crazy, I wouldn't think about my job. Right. But then when you around certain people, you only gonna do what you think that person is. You look at people when
the way the lawsuit came,
she actually like the stomping out. And
yeah, right.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't think it was a wrong thing because I never.
Yo, chat. 100%. I ain't think it was wrong. I ain't think it was that bad. I never seen the stompings. Then now it's like, oh yeah, I seen them type of beat down. Yo, hold on, man. Hold on. My boy probably has some amnesia though.
Yes, I definitely did. Did she, when she said that I came in between them fighting, did I do that? Yes, I definitely did. But I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't think it was a wrong thing because I never seen the things that she actually like the stomping out.
You ain't see the stomping out?
And the beating. And
you ain't see the beatings?
I've never seen stuff like that.
Oh.
I would jump into something.
Wait, he say you ain't see the stompings of the beatings, right?
In my light, I would say yes. In my light, I would say yes. It didn't surprise me when I saw it because I've seen things to this nature before.
What?
I've gotten in between.
Nigga, we just seen stompings and beatdowns. He said he never saw it. Now he's saying he's seen it.
Things of this nature before. And this was back in 2012.
He's giving a date when he's seen it. Nigga, he got exact dates.
So that's why I was so adamant on what I said yesterday after he posted that apology, because it comes a time where it's like, you can't just say anything you want to say and think that people going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a God syndrome, you know, the same way that he's been in a lot of trouble before and you could pay your way out. He knew those cameras was there, you know, but of course as we heard, he came back to the hotel and he paid to get the footage, but didn't know, which Cassie said inside her complaint, that they gave her.
Yo, chat. This is just my opinion. All of these people worked with Diddy in covering this shit up, man. Just be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm not saying that Diddy's not a piece of shit, but Diddy, what this is indicating, that there was a culture of prioritizing money over morals, money and revenue and income and keeping a business going rather than being a whistleblower or standing up, or maybe that person felt like, well, if I say something, I'm snitching. But that was like, again, the bodyguards are complicit. Who knows if, the chief of staffs, the assistants, the drivers, who knew? Like, I think everybody was just like, let me just keep myself to myself.
Her a copy of the footage also. You know what I'm saying? So when you go through life just paying your way out, I really feel like he wasn't sorry about that. Yeah, he might be sorry now. He's sorry that he got caught. But if that was a one-time incident, then I would say accept his apology. But I think in that apology, he said what he thought people wanted.
Pierce, I like you for your hard-hitting style of interview. If you don't immediately ask him, well, if you've seen things that was similar to what we saw in that video, how did you deal with that? You're the security. You're getting paid from this guy. How many daughters you have? You said 4? How did you deal with this? Yo, Pierce, you gotta hold it down for the gang. Come on, bro.
To hit.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent towards women?
Around 4 or 5 times.
Yo, Roger Bond, I know you probably spoke to an attorney already, but I hope you did. Because your memory just kind of came. Like, I think at first people would be like, oh, this nigga don't know shit about shit. Because you were acting too cryptic. Look like you just wanted some money. Now you seem like a witness, brother. This sounds like some shit they ask you to understand. How many times you saw him be violent? 4 or 5 times.
And was that all with Cassie, or was it Cassie and other women?
I seen him with Cassie, and I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
Right, who's now sadly no longer with us. But what did you see him do?
I've seen him get physical. I've seen him get really physical, grab him up. It was one time that Cassie mentioned inside her lawsuit where she said she had to go over to the London hotel. I was the one that was checking on her every day.
Chad, I know sometimes I hate when I pause, but it's important that we get what's going on. Maybe this is it. In 2009, after the blah, blah, that Miss Ventura, Cassie, was speaking to another music manager at the party, became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her, but instead he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, he beat her, pushing her into a corner, stomping her on her face, and the security staff, Roger Bond, tried to stop the beating, but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Combs' residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away. He followed her and proceeded to kick her in the face. She was bleeding profusely and ushered into Mr. Combs' home, where she began to throw up from the violence incident. Upon recognizing the damage that he had done, the physical evidence of the abuse, Mr. Combs panicked and forced his staff to bring Ms. Ventura to a hotel suite at the London in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. This is the problem I have with Mr. Roger Bonds. Roger Bond, you said that you never seen or witnessed any beatdown. Nigga, she literally mentioned your name with probably a beatdown that's worse than the one caught on tape. Listen to what she's saying happened. He proceeded to kick her in her face. She's bleeding profusely. And then she was dragged, I know it says ushered, but it's pretty much forced into his home, and she began throwing up. And then after realizing, oh, she's fucked up, he panicked and forced his staff to bring her to a hotel. And you're saying that, oh, it was nothing, never that serious. It was just mutual, gang. This is crazy. You see why people are asking the questions about the friends of Diddy who are quiet, the associates of Diddy who are quiet, the people who frequently talked about and enjoyed the parties, or the people who were either staff. Yes, y'all got to get asked a few questions, because it's easy now to say, oh, I never seen none of it, until y'all keep talking and y'all snitch on yourself. You see, if Mr. Bonds was going to say he never witnessed nothing to the extent of the beatdowns and the stompings, brother. And he did say he should consult with an attorney. Why did you just go on Piers Morgan and basically say that the beatdown that Cassie admitted you were there? This is crazy.
Get really physical, grab him up. It was one time that Cassie mentioned inside her lawsuit where she said she had to go over to the London hotel. I was the one that was checking on her every day at the London hotel.
By the way,
let
me go back to the lawsuit. In the lawsuit, it says, during this stay, as her injuries healed, she began to fully realize that Mr. Combs' tremendous loyal network, he's snitching on himself. Look, she's literally saying that Cassie's saying when she was sent somewhere to go heal up from her bruises and injuries, she was realizing everybody coming to check up on her, bringing her food, doing this and third, was Mr. Combs' tremendous loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Mr. Combs' behavior. This is coming from the same guy who said in the Danza interview, why she name me in the lawsuit if she ain't gonna break off some bread to me? This don't sound wild to y'all? The nigga wanted to get paid from Cassie finally speaking out. When Cassie spoke out, she said, I couldn't have spoke out before because the niggas who was working for Diddy was making sure I didn't speak out. So she essentially Roger Bonds verifying the story is also verifying that he was one of the people making sure that she couldn't speak out on behalf of Diddy. The nerve of this nigga 2 years later say, wait, Cassie got a check? Why ain't get peace? No, this is crazy, Chad. This is crazy. This is crazy. I feel like I'm living in a simulation right now.
I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
Right, who's now sadly no longer with us. But what did you see him do?
I've seen him get physical. I've seen him get really physical, grab him up. It was one time that Cassie mentioned inside her lawsuit where she said she had to go over to the London hotel. I was the one that was checking on her every day at the London hotel. You know what I'm saying? So I know that to be true. I seen him get into some wrestling and punching matches. And sometimes I felt like, what are you mad at? What are you upset about? Because it's a deeper anger when you hitting and punching a woman in that type of manner. And it's okay. It's understood if you have a problem with one woman and you seek things. But when you have a problem with every woman that you're dealing with, then I think that problem is inside of you.
What did you see him do with Kim Porter?
I seen him inside the car, grab her up. I seen him smack her, And one thing about Kim is Kim got to the point where she fought back because she realized how powerful she was. It was one incident on Sunset Boulevard in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel where I just seen the car rocking back and forth. Of course he put everybody out the car, but I seen the car shaking. So I opened the door. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You see where we at and what are you doing? And Kim got out the car like nothing happened. And she fixed her hair and she told him, she said, I want to see you explain to the media that scratch I'm gonna put across your face if you put your hands on me again. And that was Kim's attitude. Kim's attitude was she realized that what he had to explain meant more to him than anything. And once she realized she had that power, she said, nah, not no more. Because you're going to have to explain why you all marked up.
The incident you alluded to in the lawsuit.
Okay, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one, chat. So there's a rumor that's been ongoing that there's a scar allegedly on Diddy's hand that's permanent. That was as a result of Diddy allegedly trying to put his hands on Kim Porter, her fighting back, and somehow she cut him or something of the sort. I'll look it up. Let me see. Kim Porter, Diddy, mark on hand. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. The scar on Diddy's hand from Kim. Well, there's a whole TikTok about this. Oh, Gene talks about
Puffy,
this.
he came out with a new album, man, called Love, and he got a song on there called Kim Porter. How you feel about that?
I think that's probably a great thing to do. You know what I'm saying? To honor the person that you said you love. to honor the woman who gave you a scar on your wrist for the rest of your life that you can always look at and remember. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna always remember her. Kim was who Kim was. And then if he ever try to forget her, all he had to do is look at his wrist.
What you mean by that when you say that, Kim Porter gave Puffy a scar?
When they were at home at Kim's house on 110th Street, he wanted to, put his hands on her in the wrong way. And Kim took.
By the way, sorry for pausing it. Was it ever divulged if Diddy used to try to do the freak-offs with Kim Porter? I know with Cassie, yes. But did the freak-offs start at a certain time? I've never heard freak-offs when it came to J-Lo and Kim Porter. Those two I've never heard freak-offs with. But we heard it a lot with Cassie. Okay. I'm just asking. I'll look into that a little bit more. Let me play it, though.
Took one of those corkscrews and ripped his wrist up and hit an artery. And when she did that, he had to rush over to St. Luke's Hospital. I met him over there to the hospital. It was me, him, and Kim in the hospital when he was bleeding like crazy.
Right. From your point of view, right, how would you describe Puffy and Kim Porter relationship when you was around?
Oh, it was volatile. It was like, damn it she do, damn it she don't. Like Kim could not be with nobody else and he knew it.
Puffy, he came out with a new album, man, called Love, and he got a song on there called Kim Porter. How you feel about that?
I think that's probably a great.
All right. Wow. Okay. So supposedly that's what happened. Let's see. Kim Porter corkscrew Diddy. Let's see if we can find any more information. Let's hear this. Shout out to Art of Dialogue, by the way. Fuck with y'all.
Kim Porter, we all know about the time that she cut Diddy with a corkscrew. Do you recall any other time that her and Diddy got into it?
Well, I could hear it in the suite.
Okay. Nah, I want to hear about that incident. If not, we should get back into this shit. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going.
And so I opened the door. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You see where we at and what are you doing? And Kim got out the car like nothing happened. And she fixed her hair and she told him, she said, I want to see you explain to the media that scratch I'm going to put across your face if you put your hands on me again. And that was Kim's attitude. Kim's attitude was she realized that what he had to explain meant more to him than anything. And once she realized she had that power, she said, nah, not no more. Because you're going to have to explain why you all marked up.
The incident you alluded to in the lawsuit was in January 2009. After Diddy learned that she had spoken to another music manager at a party, he became angry. It says in the car leaving the club, he beat Cassie, Miss Ventura, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face, and that you tried to stop the...
Now, remember he said never seen something of that sort. Usually if you're in a car, your security's riding with you in the car. So I would imagine he's in the car. Let's hear his answer.
Beating, but were unable to de-escalate the situation. Is that an accurate assessment of what happened?
I wouldn't say it was accurate because I did stop it. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a club. It was in front of a Black Tie Affair, actually. And they came out of the Black Tie Affair on Sunset Boulevard. And she was talking to a manager, and I was standing there. And then he just came out and went crazy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand why, but I knew that we was on Sunset Boulevard. And I grabbed him, and I said, yo, what are you doing? Like, what did she do? And she just ran on the side of the car, and she bent down. And he took off from me, and he commenced to hitting her. And I pulled him off of her and I threw him in the car. And then I grabbed her and I threw her in the car. And they continued to fight for about another block or two. And then he sat there and he just shook his head. He just shook his head and said, take me home. Once we got her home, he then had his assistant get a hotel room at the London Hotel. And they took her over to the London Hotel for a week. And my job was to just go check on her, and I went and checked on her every day. She showed me some bruises on her chest. And she showed me her eye, and she just started crying.
There are other parts of her lawsuit, which I want to just go through quickly with you to see whether you would concur with what she claims, that Diddy urged and supplied her to take drugs. Did you witness that?
Well, yeah, I definitely witnessed that. You know, drugs was a regular thing there. You know,
Yo, this nigga giving a deposition at this point.
for both of them, and I didn't have no idea that he was forcing her though. But you know, that was the things that they would do. You know what I'm saying? Partying. They would go to the hotel for the weekends. They would have, I guess, what they was calling the freak offs, I guess. But
and just to be clear on that, sorry, just to be, I was asking about the freak offs are where it is alleged, and she alleges that Diddy forced her to have sex with other men as he filmed it. That is what a freak off is. Is that right?
Yes, that's what they say it is.
And do you believe that was happening regularly?
Yes, I believe that. Yes,
and do you believe, as she says, that she was a completely
Yo, this nigga remembers everything and believes everything now.
unwilling participant in that he was manipulating the whole thing?
When I look back, he's a king manipulator. He can manipulate anything and anyone. Money and power is what he's all about. You know, having conversations with him throughout the years, he has a God syndrome. So I definitely believe at the age of 19, seeking fame, wanting to be a singer, I think she allowed herself to be manipulated and be taken advantage of, definitely.
You were with him a long time. What kind of person is he, Diddy? I mean, just from what you're saying at the moment, he comes across as a pretty unpleasant piece of work.
He's an arrogant person. He's a no-nonsense person. If he wants it, he feels that he can get it. You know, if he wants it, he feels that he can pay for it. If he wants it, you can't tell him no. And I think at that particular time, she was 19 years old. We're talking about a child. You know, at 19, going against someone I think at that time was 38, 39, very strong, very powerful in the music business. And he took advantage of that. And he knew how to take advantage of that.
How did it make you feel? I mean, you've already slightly alluded to this, but how did it make you feel? You're a security man. Your job is to protect people. When you watched a man who's a strong man, like Diddy, physically attacking women in the way that he did, what did that make you feel?
I mean, it made me feel, one, like he was he was wrong. I knew he was wrong. If it happened on my watch, I would get in between it. But I felt powerless because I couldn't get in between it if I wasn't there. I couldn't get in between it if you stay. And we've had conversations, you know, me and Cassie had conversations. Me and Kim had conversations. And Kim was basically telling me, she said, Bonds, I got 4 of them. She said, I allow these things to happen as far as him messing around with girls and stuff like that. And she said, when I get tired of it, he's going to know. And Cassie, you got to a point where it's like you're talking to your daughter. And I'm giving her advice. But Cassie was so scared that the advice that you would give her, she would go back and tell him. And that would make you not want to talk to her or give her advice or tell her what she should do because she would go.
That's interesting. And actually, even though like I think this guy's credibility is a little bit shaky, I actually believe what he's saying here. Okay, and by the way, I'm not. This might be a slight defense, even though I think they could do more. Cassie was a young 19-year-old girl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you told her something that could be for her benefit, she probably goes back and tells Diddy and be like, "Yo, you know your security guard, yo, he probably trying to hit on me or something like that." But he be asking me why I be dealing with you like that, like why I be letting you fuck other girls. You know what I mean? I could see that. I could see that a little bit.
Go back and tell him. Maybe when she got high and they was alone, next thing you know, he would call you over the speaker and tell you to, yo, come to my room, come to my room. Why are you talking to my girl? Why are you talking to my girl? So a lot of people say, why did you stay? And I tell people, you know, me, myself, I was also manipulated. You know, he would also.
Okay. All right now. All right now.
So apologize to me. Like, yo, I don't know what's wrong with me. Yo, that's not going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do better. You know, you would see everything going all right for the next couple of weeks, for the next month or two. And then all of a sudden you would see him blow up again over something. Maybe she didn't want to go out. Maybe she didn't want to do something and he would totally lose it. And it's been times that we even had conversations like, yo, why? What's wrong? And he'd get to the point where he would act like he was mad at you about it. So you would stop conversating about it. You know, he had ways to tell you, okay, enough is enough. Don't get in my business. And it made me feel like a helpless person. But at the same time, if I stay, I felt like I could help. But if I leave, who's going to help her? It was plenty of people there. Why did she say my name? Because everybody else would turn a blind eye to it.
There is a
And that's
suggestion.
one of the reasons that I.
So he's saying that, yeah, I was kind of complicit, but I wasn't like all the way complicit. I was trying to help in my own ways. Other niggas was just not trying to help at all. Okay, that's his story.
Right. There's a suggestion, Roger, that he would keep tapes of celebrities in his homes when they were taking drugs.
Hey, I see a lot of people on YouTube actually talking about Herbie 19. Here's the thing, and this is my thought about it. Being a 19-year-old girl, number one, you're a legal person in the eyes of the law of whatever. If Diddy wants to be, I don't know how old he was at the point, fucking with someone who's 19, I think that's legal. If you want to call it weird, creepy, you could do that, but that's legal, right? I think for the people who are saying, why are we acting like 19 is a child? I think we could probably say mentally, 19, you don't know what's going, like, I remember me, and I'm a guy, right? 19 years old for me was the best year of my life, but the most uncertain year of my life. But it's because I had fun with just going where life was taking me. I didn't know where I was going to be. Am I going to be successful? I'm racking up all this debt in college. I'm mad impressionable still. I'm growing into myself as a man. 19 is a time that if someone came in your life and they had tremendous power and tremendous money and could change your life left, right, and center, they could do things for you. And if they told you, hey, I could change your life, but you need to do these things, you might do it. So again, not a child. And let's be clear with this. We're not gonna act like Diddy's a pedophile for fucking a 19-year-old. I don't know if he fucked kids, but 19 is not a child. But we have to think about the power dynamic, and also we got to think mentally, right? Like, as a 19-year-old girl, if you're not going to college, you're trying to figure out life, you're becoming a young woman, you're probably very malleable, right? Like, if you meet a guy who's a billionaire, he tells you, yo, you're going to have everything I have. You're going to be flying private jets. Like, you have the world at your fucking fingertips. But, of course, your beauty and your looks and your sexuality has to be open, or you have to be cool with me fucking all these other girls despite what you feel. I could see how someone who's 19 is like, all right, like, this is my lifeline. Like, what other choices I have? And I think in that sense, you could be manipulated, right? No, of course, right? So I'm thinking about mentally. Like, I think every time we keep talking about this age shit, especially coming off of the Drake shit, we're not talking about age in terms of, oh, you're fucking, you're a pedophile. This is, yo, if a 38-year-old billionaire comes to you with the world at his disposal, he snaps a finger, he has everything that you could ever dream of. Your dreams are his nothings. I'm pretty sure if he's like, hey, listen, y'all want to do A, B, and C, and you're like, oh, well, I've never done that, or I kind of don't, I probably wouldn't want to do that. Like, it probably doesn't take much coercing, right? Like, nah, yo, come on, yo. Like, I thought you wanted this life, girl. Like, what's up? Yo, you with me? I'm Diddy. Like, nigga, I'm a fucking billionaire. What's up? Like, I could understand and that's going more towards, I understand the thought. I understand the thought of her telling Diddy what the security said. Because when women are that malleable, they do anything to become closer to the person who they feel is their lifeline. Yo, you know your friend was kind of hitting on me? Oh, he told me I shouldn't be with you? Yeah, like, she's fucking 19 years old, man. Like, I kind of get it.
Or having sex, whatever it may be, to be able to use against them later. Did you ever see any evidence of that?
No, not again.
Bro, and also, like, just, let's speak on, like, a realistic perspective. Bro, if you ever meet a woman in their 20s, even if they have a career or whatever, is the years that kind of turn them out is always those years that they're super malleable and they're seeking what's next for them, right? And even if they go off the wrong path, maybe they dated a drug dealer or a gang member in their community or whatever the case is, or they were trying to fit in with a cool crowd, and maybe their acceptance to that crowd was their youth and beauty. Yeah, sometimes those chicks are the chicks that kind of got turned out by those situations. Why? They're malleable, like, bro, like they're 17, 18, 19. The 17-year-old wants the hottest, like, other 17-year-old or 18-year-old, like, in their neighborhood at that point. The 18-year-old wants to be with the most lit nigga in their college. The 20-year-old, whatever. So, like, that's kind of like you got to understand how, like, you got to think about it from a woman perspective, especially a woman trying to fit in, a woman who probably is not going the traditional route of, oh, I just need to get, like, my college degree and just go make it. They're kind of trying to fit in. So it's like, bro, I completely understand, like, maybe Cassie maybe not really wanted to do some of this shit, but she was just like, you know what? Yo, if I make this guy happy, I get what I want. Maybe that's how life is. Maybe that's how this industry is. Yo, I'm a grown-ass man in my 30s, and I'm realizing, like, even now how certain powerful people play the industry, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these dudes play these situations very interesting, whether it's like, you know, some of these executives, before they sign certain artists, they kind of get the artist a certain way of dependent on them. Like, that's kind of, you know what I mean? And if I'm finding out that as a grown-ass dude, and I've had people try to do it to me, not sexually, clearly, but it's on some like, yo, we have things you want, so we need to get you in a place of maybe down to compromise your morals or integrity, so we'll dangle shit in front of you and basically be like, yo, all it takes for you to get over here is for you to just do whatever the fuck we want you to do. So, again, if I could say that, like, imagine a 19-year-old girl, my nigga. Like, the only thing Cassie had going for her, like, she was, no disrespect to her, she was like a mid-singer. Bro, she was just a beautiful girl that was just young at that point. So I could imagine, like, yeah, a fucking billionaire. Like, we're not even talking about, like, the hot rapper. Like, the guy who signed everybody. Like, you know what Diddy meant at that point? Diddy is responsible for big, like, the nigga was scorching hot, right? Like, wasn't it like 2008? Him, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, they're on the 1, 2, 3 remix of I Get Money, the Billionaire remix. Like, Diddy was the epitome of just with successes. So I'm just clarifying for the people in the chat who are saying 19 isn't a child. And you're right. It's not a child if you're having sex with that person. So let's not put no pedophile or no weird shit on that. But are they malleable? Yeah. Yeah, come on, right? Yeah.
That time in 2012, I never seen no evidence. He did keep a video bag with him, or his assistant kept a video bag with him. And from the things that's been going on now and the things that's been revealed, I would say allegedly that video bag was of the things that they did together. But he always had a video bag with him. At that time, it was one of the little camcorders. And he always kept like the videotapes and the cassette tapes there with him.
There have also been allegations involving him and other men in terms of abuse and so on. What do you know about that?
I don't know nothing about that. I've never been in there. You know, when they would do those type of things, we would have the day off. He might go to the hotel and he'd be like, yo, I'm gonna stay in the hotel for the weekend. Y'all off for the weekend, and kind of rush you out. But me being the person that I am, it's been times that I would stand by the elevator, or I would go downstairs and say, why is this guy rushing me out? Why is this guy rushing? And I would see different men. I've never seen what they did, but I've actually stood there while they knocked on the hotel room door and went inside. What went on behind there, I can't tell you.
When did you last talk to Diddy?
I talked to Diddy when this first happened, the day before Cassie dropped the lawsuit. I spoke to him.
And what was that conversation like?
That conversation was about my son, who's in trouble in Africa, and I asked him for some help. And he said, I don't have it right now. I'm going through something. He said, but I may need your help. And
oh, wow.
And at this particular time, I didn't know that I was inside of the lawsuit. So when he said he might need my help, I was working with Ciroc and De Leon with Diageo. So I thought because he had the lawsuit against them that he was getting ready to settle and he needed some help pushing the vodka or pushing the tequila. It wasn't until that next morning when I got a whole bunch of DMs and they said, you know, you in Cassie lawsuit. And I said, for what? And then I read the lawsuit and I said to myself, I said, oh, this is what he was telling me that he needed some help with. He wanted me to allegedly, he wanted me to be one of his witnesses and say that they had a regular relationship. This was just a normal thing. And in sometimes, and some days they did. They had a great relationship.
Yo, this nigga just like snitching on himself. Yo, I talked to him right before the lawsuit was filed. And then when the lawsuit was filed, I see my name in it. I kept putting out cryptic messages saying that Diddy might need to really cough up the bread because my son is in trouble and I need some money. And I know what he wanted me to say. And then eventually I get on the Danza Project, my biggest first interview. And I literally said everything with Cassie and Diddy was both of their faults. I basically kind of got his back on that. And then now I see this video. Now I'm, bro, this is like a mess.
You know what I'm saying? But it was this dark side of him that he was trying to hide and that he wanted me to say didn't exist. And I can't say that it didn't exist if it did exist.
His video apology, as you say, didn't even mention Cassie by name. If looking at him, it feels like he may now be aware of the scale of the trouble he's in, not least to his reputation. I think everyone who watched that video.
Okay, let's get into that real quick. So Diddy did not mention, and again, you know, I don't like to rehash things, and I know you're probably like, "Yo, we've seen this a million times," but I know this get close to like, I have to be very clear and tell y'all this is not a defense of Diddy. You know, I hope you guys realize I'm trying to report this situation, and I know there's a bunch of people. I've seen y'all do the Joe Budden recently. Like, you know, and obviously I think Joe's maybe a little bit different because people wanted to hear Joe speak about earlier allegations, and I think he reserved himself and he didn't do it. So now people are like, "What, you got to speak about it." So they want that audio or that video of Joe saying, "Man, fuck Diddy." You know what I mean? I heard Charlamagne the God, you know, like he, you know, and by the way, he works at the Breakfast Club that was previously had a very lucrative contract allegedly with Revolt. Revolt was paying them. You know what I mean? So essentially, I wouldn't call Diddy necessarily his boss, but he was a business partner with them. Charlamagne slammed him today. He said, "Yo, I wish Cassie had a gun to shoot that motherfucker." And I think people, you know, obviously want from their favorite creators or their favorite commentators to hear that message, right? And I don't think none of us are going to be in the sense of defending him. I hope y'all don't think I'm defending him. This just substantiated what I've always heard. The nigga's guilty. You know what I mean? The nigga's, yo, when y'all ask me why I never met up with him in London, I heard the nigga beat bitches, get niggas fucked up, and there was some people after the whole, remember when I called Young Miami the side chick? There was some people that told me, Diddy will come see you at your house. You know this, right? This is what people told me, my nigga. And I was just like, bro, like, what you, like, I don't live in fear. Not in my crib. Never. You know what I mean? Like you got to go out like Tony Montana. I just can't live in fear in my crib. So I remember people saying that. So it's like, the whole time when niggas is saying this, niggas is acting like this guy. The whole time I'm like, yo, why don't y'all say this shit publicly? Like, this nigga is a fucking gangster who does what he wants and does all type of crimes. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, get a black truck for the next month. Yo, this nigga might do something. Why are you saying that? That's what's the conversation back then. So for me, you know, of course I'm slamming this behavior. I don't fuck with it. Like, it's clearly weird. For me, it's more of, it's emblematic of now watching other people who felt like, you know, they were like, you know, let me not say nothing because Diddy might pull a 3-1 comeback. And I think this is the first time. I know the Fed's raid was like pretty strong, but this was the first time I seen everybody was just like, fuck the 3-1 comeback. This series is done. Like, this, it's like the Knicks game I went to yesterday. Yo, niggas is up 30 points with 5 minutes to go. I don't care what he got in the wheel, in the weapon wheel. He can't motherfucking come back from this. And I think that's true, right? However, it's kind of sad that I got to give that type of disclaimer before, you know, I'm trying to be like kind of fair too, because I don't know this nigga, man. I don't care about Diddy. I could give 2 fucks. But, you know, I want to give proper information. So the reason why, apparently, because that was my biggest thing too. I said, what the fuck? Why did Diddy not mention the victim's name? Like, how do you apologize to someone without saying you're sorry to them? Yo, I'm sorry. You know, like, then I was like, no, he's apologizing that people have seen it. But he didn't even say, I'm sorry you guys saw the video. He didn't acknowledge the video either. And then I saw this from TMZ, right? I saw this from TMZ. TMZ basically said he couldn't mention her. And I don't know if that's true. Let's see if we can find it. TMZ claims he couldn't mention her because of, yeah, look, Diddy can't say Cassie's name in public because he's barred by the settlement. I don't know if that's true, but let's read into it. So there's a lot of reasons to drag Diddy over his apology video. The public outrage is fresh from what he did to Cassie, but when it comes to him not saying her name in the mea culpa, there's a legal reason he couldn't. As you know, Diddy and Cassie reached a settlement one day after she filed a sexual lawsuit against him in November, and sources familiar with the agreement tell TMZ it was a very strict NDA, which prevents both of them from speaking about each other in public. You'll notice since the release of the 2016 Beaten, you have not seen or heard Cassie trashing Diddy as you'd expect. By the way, I always thought that was interesting, right? Yeah, like obviously Cassie hasn't said anything about Diddy, but Cassie's best friend has spoken up. And Cassie's lawyers keep putting out messages. Like, if you're signing an NDA, wouldn't it also say that your lawyer wouldn't keep putting out messages saying, hey, this goes to further support the claims that we had in the lawsuit that we got paid for, that Cassie was the victim and she was abused by this guy? That was always odd to me. I'm going to be honest with you. And you know, I know Cassie's not saying anything, but Cassie's lawyer has been said shit, right? Cassie truthfully hasn't said anything, but apparently, if we're to believe these sources that TMZ claim they've corroborated, Diddy just can't say Cassie's name. And that's why I also say, like, why the fuck is Diddy apologizing then? If you can't say the victim's name, right? I would rather, if he had came out and said, hey, listen, I'm sorry this video became public. This is something that happened years ago. I do apologize to any women who have seen this and have been affected by it. I apologize to my daughters and blah, blah, blah. I have made amends privately with the parties involved. I mean, something that kind of alludes to, you know, like maybe you hollered at her or like, you know what I mean? Like you and her got past. I don't know. But this just felt kind of like cold. Like this shit was like cold. Are these tears? This wasn't tears, right? Don't tell me TMZ like put some tears in there. Let me tell you this though, Chad. Diddy is still good. I don't care, even if his eyes look glossy, it does. Diddy is still fine. I'm going to tell you when Diddy's not fine, okay? When Diddy ain't fine, I'm going to tell you this. Until Diddy go back to this look right here, where he ain't waking up and dyeing his beard. And by the way, his hair too. Like, the whole thing is great. The nigga is like 60. When Diddy comes back out looking like this nigga, okay? When he looks like this, that's when you know, okay, maybe. But if that nigga's still getting up and putting that spray on shit in his hair, the ginseng or whatever they call it, I don't know what these niggas call it. If he's still trying to make sure he got like that DJ Khaled, which by the way, DJ Khaled has the nastiest ginseng DJ Khaled beard product. Have y'all seen this shit? Like, it looks so disgusting on DJ Khaled. This shit look like a spray on. DJ Khaled spray on beard. This shit was disgusting.
Ain't nothing like a fresh cut. You get a fresh cut.
DJ Khaled got one of the nastiest spray-ons in the game. Hey, let me tell you, I think, you know, yo, I ain't gonna lie. You know what's gonna hurt me? When Drake start doing that. Yo, how old is Drake? Drake like 37? I know Drake getting a couple grades right about now. I know once he hits 40, man, that beard is going to be a little bit gray. You feel me? And trust me, we can't have Champagne Poppy being like, we can't have him with the half gray. He going to have to do it too. Have y'all seen DJ Khaled? Yo, the pandemic exposed all these niggas. Yo, the pandemic exposed half these niggas.
News where there is like
This is when that nigga said he couldn't see his barber, man. Okay, I don't know what this is. Okay. Yeah, look at Diddy. All right, come on, man.
Every summer drop more hits to make my stocks go.
Businesses, y'all know that this money.
When I see Diddy go back to this is when I know he really going through it. Yeah. Yup. Anyway, let's finish listening to this.
Funny that this was 2016. So in my mind, I felt like it was the beginning of an end because I do really feel like other people are going to come forward. Because if the incident that I'm telling you about was 2012, and then this incident was 2016, that means between 2012 and 2016 that this woman still went through these beatings all the way up, I guess, until she left in 2018. So I feel like there's going to be other people that come forward.
Well, also, you have also told me that you saw him do similar beatings with Kim Porter, who sadly died, obviously in her 40s, was the mother of his 3 children. But that in itself is indicative of a pattern of physical violence towards women.
Yes, very much so.
Roger Bonds, it's been fascinating to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I hope that we get to the bottom of this. And I hope that every woman out there sees this, steps forward for
violence against women.
Yo, Vlad be on Piers every day, nigga.
It doesn't surprise me. Search both of his homes in a highly public.
Vlad be on Piers is cool and
and a shakedown and so forth. And I'm sure some of these lawsuits probably are that because there's usually a pylon that happens. But in the Cassie case, it looks pretty accurate. And the whole thing about him buying.
I agree with Vlad on that. The Lil Rod case, I don't really believe that. Even though, by the way, that's a lot of what's drummed up a lot of the media cycle for Diddy. But the Cassie case, at this point, I think you'd look incredibly stupid not to believe pretty much the majority of what's there. Even if you're one of those guys to be like, oh, nah, she probably liked it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, be like, you know, like, oh, she was down with some of the freak offs, essentially. You get what I'm saying? Hold on. Even if you want to believe that she was like, you know, with some of the sexual stuff, at this point, are you really in a position to really doubt anything she alleged? You're not. You are not. Okay, let me see.
Buying the tape for $50,000 and talking about the actual incident was actually in the lawsuit. So the pieces are now fitting together.
Roger
And,
Bonds.
you know, a lot of people who doubted Cassie.
I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Like a lot of people who doubted Cassie are now apologizing.
Okay. I do want to play Charlemagne giving him donkey today. I thought that was Charlemagne popped out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas certified boogie, man. I don't want to off the skull with him. Yeah, I like that line. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to see